Today, we have a very special guest with us, Reenad, who is only 15 years old, and somehow she has made it to Japan. So, I won't speak for long. Reenad, I would like you to introduce yourself, just like your age, who you are, where you live, and how did you end up in Japan?
So, before anything else, I'd like to thank you very much for having me here today and sharing my experience and my journey with everyone, with your viewers. Um, yes, about my introduction, I am Reenad Pocket, and I am currently in grade 10, a high schooler, and I'm 15 years old. So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's basically it. I recently went to Japan on an international youth exchange program, which was fully sponsored.
So, Reenad, you're just 15 years old. Like, were you,
Yeah.
maybe scared of traveling abroad? Did you have any concerns when you were traveling abroad? Tell me a bit more about what you were feeling when you were, you found out that, okay, I'm going to Japan.
It was a really new experience for me, like traveling abroad. I have traveled abroad before once, but like it was on a family trip. My family was with me, but this time it was not completely alone. There was one more volunteer, one more delegate with me, but still both of us were under 18. Um, Personally, I did not feel scared at all. Uh, there was a bit of a hesitance because I was moving to a completely different country. It was my dream country, but like traveling abroad all alone like that to a completely different place was honestly a bit of a hesitance for me. Um, but again, it was a wonderful opportunity. Nobody would have wanted to miss it, and I was nominated as the one of the only two delegates from Pakistan. So it was a really nice opportunity, and I wouldn't have wanted to miss it just because I had to, step out of my comfort zone. So losing this opportunity was never an option. I had to travel anyway. And it was a really wonderful experience. Even traveling abroad alone is, a one of a kind experience, and you get to learn a lot from it.
Absolutely. I love that because as everybody else, all the viewers on this channel probably know that I myself have been to Japan on an exchange program before. And honestly, I was feeling the same way. Like when I went abroad, like I was not scared. I was not, what all the people, all the concerns that everybody else usually has. I think the candidates that these programs really take, they don't think that way. They really don't think like, okay, I'm scared, I'm traveling abroad. Their desire to, just travel abroad is so much more than
Yeah.
that. So yeah, the concern doesn't really exist. So I really love that answer. And I can tell, Rena, that you'll do great things in life. I can already tell that you'll go very far.
Thank you.
So which is really nice. So Rena, you did mention that you were one of the two students from Pakistan who ended up going to Japan through this program. Can you tell me a bit more about
Yes.
what that looked like and how was this whole process?
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. The IYEP 2025 is basically the short form of the International Youth Exchange Program Japan 2025. So I've been a volunteer with the Pakistan Red Crescent Society, which is a part of, or you can say it lies under the umbrella of the IFRC, the International Federation of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Societies. So there are over uh, in almost every country, there is one national society, and so Pakistan's national society is Pakistan Red Crescent. So each national society has their each country has their own state branches and provincial branches. So as I belong from HJK, there is a youth club which is designed for youth volunteers which are aged 15 to 18, and so I was a part of this youth club. Um, so the process was basically based on internal applications. So only those who were a part of this specific youth and volunteer club. Only they were contacted through email. So on a random Saturday morning, my mom just told me that the Red Crescent has contacted them and they wanted my CV, curriculum writing. At the moment, I did not even have a general CV. I had no idea how a CV was made or what it contained. So I searched a bit up about how to make a CV. So I mentioned all of my extracurriculars. I mentioned my achievements, everything that was relative to volunteering, the volunteering work and the humanitarian work that I've did for the past couple of years in the Red Crescent Society Youth Club. So I mentioned all of those, and I sent the CV to them. Uh, Over a couple of weeks, so this all happened in June 2025. Over a couple of weeks, I guess 2 or 3 weeks, they contacted me and they told me that they wanted they wanted me to fill a whole questionnaire. So they sent me another form, and I had to fill all of that form. And again, over a few weeks, over the span of a few weeks, they contacted me again, and they told me that I've passed the first two stages, and they wanted to interview me. So I guess it was July 2025, and it was an online interview. And the Secretary General of Pakistan Red Crescent Society, he interviewed me. And yes, I'd like to mention here that there are state branches and provincial branches. So, in every state and provincial branch, one delegate was chosen, or I guess two
Okay.
to three delegates were chosen from each provincial and state branch. So, the competition was very tough. From my state branch, I was chosen. I was like nominated, but from all over Pakistan, from all of those state and provincial branches, only two delegates were chosen, and one was male and one was female, and I was one of the female ones, like one of
Okay.
the only two delegates from
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Yeah, that is very interesting, especially because one that this opportunity was like, it's a very exclusive opportunity. And for you to get your hands on such opportunity, you first had to be involved in this organization. If you weren't, well, that you would never have gotten this, which is great.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm sorry, I couldn't mention. I have to mention that I've been volunteering. I had been volunteering for almost 4 years now, and I'm still volunteering. So it was like a long commitment, a long time that I've served for volunteering in this community.
got it. Well, that actually brings me to my next question, which is that, Reenad, you are just 15 years old. So,
Yes.
like, what are your peers doing right now? Like, is this something that is normal in AJK? Like, if you have been volunteering for like 4 years, as you say, then you must have been volunteering
Yes.
for like 11 or 12 years old. So,
Exactly, yes.
what got you into volunteering? Was it like your friends were doing it, or was it parents, or what introduced you to it?
About my friends, no, nobody in my classroom or any friends that I've made, they are not volunteering at the moment. Uh, I have persuaded them, but they still haven't. But I guess from this journey and from now on, after listening to my experiences and all, they've obviously watched all of it. So now I guess they will start to consider this.
Yeah.
But yes, about what inspired me and get into volunteering was I think it started back in the post-COVID era in 2022 or 2021, I guess. Um, I I would say that the COVID era was one of the most productive times of my life. I tried and I experienced different kinds of activities. I was involved in different kinds of activities. Like I got involved with the Pakistan Girls Guide Association. I started working with them, and then a few people told me about the Red Crescent Society, the Pakistan PRCS. So I started involving with them. So I think that was the best time for me to explore new opportunities, explore new fields, and volunteering. I did not know what volunteering meant at the moment, but then when I took part in this and I became a volunteer, it just really fascinated me that how you contribute to the society, your community for positive change, to bring a positive change through your actions. And it really piqued my interest. And I said that I want to be committed to this kind of service and this kind of work. And so I am still a part of this society.
If I asked you 4 years ago when you started volunteering that this would lead to you being in Japan, what would you say? Did you have any idea that this would take you to Japan?
Honestly, I had no idea. Uh, Speaking clearly and speaking the truth, I did not even know that this society had, this society gave the youth such kind of opportunities. I had no idea until the day that I received such an application. Even that day, I was still shocked that is this actually from Pakistan Red Crescent Society? Are they actually sending this email or is it some other organization? I had no idea. And obviously, after coming back, I am more motivated. I am more committed to working in this field as a volunteer because it really inspired me of
Which is
how such wonders these kind of organizations could do for us youth.
absolutely. This is something that I preach to everybody that I meet, like all the students that I have. I've been coaching some students in the past, and tell this to everyone that there are more people than you know out there who are willing to help you. And there are more organizations out
Yes,
there who are
exactly,
willing to help you in your goals.
exactly.
So you just have to find a
You just
way.
need the right, you just, exactly, you just need the right kind of sources and the right network. Networking is really important in this time. Your network is basically your net worth. And as you network, like I've networked with you, and I think it's such a privilege to network with such kind of youth that can motivate you and can inspire you to do more, and they can, bring more platforms out for you that you can participate in. So
Absolutely.
it's really great.
100%. No, I can definitely say with pure confidence or
Yeah.
100% certainty that you are leagues ahead of what I was doing when I was 15 years old. So you definitely have a very bright future ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
That's for certain. So,
Thank you so
Reenad,
much.
now coming back to the Japan program a little bit more. So what did your experience in Japan look like? When you got there, what was your first thought when you got landed in Japan? How was that? And then tell me about moving forward from that first day. How did that look like?
All right. So basically, it was a 15-day program. It was fully sponsored by the Japan Red Cross Society. Um,
Wait, sorry to interrupt, but
Youth from,
you ended
yep,
up paying nothing for it, right? Is that correct?
exactly, yes. It was fully sponsored, fully funded by the
Perfect.
Japan Red Cross. Yes.
Perfect.
So only the youth, the delegates from the Asia Pacific specific region, the Asia Pacific, they came and they were invited and they were nominated. Um, I was one of the 38, yes, I guess 38 delegates from Asia Pacific. So from each country, there were only two nominees. And obviously, there were others from Japan as well, from like different prefectures of Japan. So the first day was 22nd of October 2025 when I landed in Japan. And this was the beginning, this was the very first day of the program. So it was not only just a program, it included everything like to experience the culture of Japan, to experience the local lives of Japanese people, how they spend their daily lives. Um, the first day was in Tokyo. We all met in Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Um, and it was a Tokyo Prince Hotel. And I remember we spent 2 days there, and then all have to move to separate prefectures. So on the second or third day, we had
Wait. Okay. Awesome.
1 or 2 p.m. Yes.
Yeah, so tell me a bit more, like, what did you feel when you landed in the airport? I mean, was it just like any other day, or did it feel different? I mean, it's fine if it was just another day, but I know for some students it feels kind of surreal.
It wasn't obviously just any other day. It obviously wasn't just any other day. Obviously, I was in a state of disbelief, in a state of shock that I thought to myself, have I actually stepped in this country, my dream country called Japan. I was in a state of disbelief at that time. Also, we had a very long flight because it was a transit route from Abu Dhabi, 15 hours layover at Abu Dhabi, from Pakistan to Abu Dhabi, and through Etihad Airways, and then we had to land at Narita, another 10 hours of flight. So it was this whole traveling journey was over 30 hours one day. Um, it was really exhausting as well, but still, it was worth it.
Very surprising. So
Yeah.
now, speaking of the program once again, like you were in Nara for the first week. Where else did you go? And what sort of experiences did you do with the Red Cross Society? Were there any conferences or any other events that you participated in?
So yes, throughout the days, I've had a 1 week stay in Nara, and throughout the days, I went to the Red Cross national headquarters, the headquarters of Nara. I went there, and each day we had a separate kind of training. Like on the first day, I remember we had training on first aid. The second day was AED training. These are all like aspects and the fundamentals of the Red Cross and Red Crescent. So there were multiple trainings, and at like lunchtime, we went to separate restaurants. We even went to Pakistani and Indian restaurants once, and we had like our own national foods there. And we even like promoted, and we even went to separate schools, and like we had to give presentations at those schools about our country, our nationality, and what we do in our daily lives as a Pakistani. Uh, and yeah, we visited several schools, junior high schools and secondary schools, and all of those.
Did you have any culture shocks when you visited Japan? What I want to ask is like a lot of students, when they visit Japan, they experience things that they're not used to, like, maybe people being too respectful, or sometimes they even have negative experiences. So, were there any culture shocks that you had in Japan and you were like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, or something that completely caught you off guard?
I think there weren't any major cultural differences because I had previously studied about Japan's culture and traditions and their customs a lot. So I think there wasn't any like specific thing that was really a big of a culture shock. Um, yeah, that's basically it. And about them being respectful, they are respectful, and yes, it wasn't something that really shocked me. Uh, and yes, their level of respect is like on another level, and I really admire that.
So, speaking of that, I actually missed one question, which is a very crucial question, is that, well, you
Yeah.
mentioned that Japan was your dream country. Why did you want to go to Japan in the first
Yeah.
place?
Because of I really like the way that how those people have, they live harmoniously, and they don't have much conflicts like many other nations, many other countries. They have sorts of different sorts of conflicts with one another. But I really like the fact that um, Japan is such a unique country. They are ahead in technology. Their technological advancements are on another level. They have a great sense of civic responsibility, and I really like that. Like the other day, I was thinking, when I was in Japan, I was thinking that even if these people do not have governments or anyone to like impose laws on them, like these people do not really need anything like sort of a government because they know how to, like they have those unspoken rules uh, amongst their communities, amongst their societies, that they do not need anyone to like tell them what to do and what not to do. They have such a great awareness of what's right and what's wrong. So that's something that really inspired me. And another thing I'd like to add here is that the Japanese language, I've been a fan of the Japanese language for a long time. In fact, in general, I've been always interested in learning a lot of different languages. Like during the COVID era, again, as I've mentioned, it was one of the most productive times of my life. I learned French a bit, and then after that, I started learning Japanese.
That is honestly so insightful, so inspiring. I'm sure people who are watching this right now
Yes.
are now getting an idea of how you're supposed to show your drive on why you want to go to Japan. Like if you're applying for the Asia Kakehashi project or any program like this, they're always going to ask you why you want to go to Japan. And I think
Hmm.
this is how a good,
Yes.
successful answer looks like. So
Yes.
thank you for your answer, Reenad. I was going to ask you about Japanese food. So what did you think about Japanese food? This can be kind of controversial because I know some Pakistani students
Japanese
did not
food.
like it.
I would say they do not, because we are Pakistani and we use a lot of spices. Yes,
Mhm.
they do not use a lot of spices. Um, like if they have rice, if they have plain rice, they're not going to use any spices in that. Similarly, a lot of other foods, they're not very spicy because those people do not have like developed those kind of taste buds that would, um, consider that much spices. So being a Pakistani, I think the food, um, I don't know how to put it that way, but
You can be
it was
honest. You
overall it
can
was
be
good.
honest.
I think the food that my host mom made, I think it was so full of love, so full of like purity. Like I had to eat it anyway. I could not say no. I could never reject. Obviously, I had to eat it all. And like some of those dishes were really good. Like I remember there was takoyaki and another one, the egg one. I kind of forgot that name, but yeah, some of the dishes were really nice. And the seafood, yes, the seafood was also very nice.
I think the takoyaki is I'm forgetting, it's been a while. Is octopus, right? Is the balls or the octopus balls, or is it like
No,
something
no,
else?
no.
That has to be something else then, yeah.
Maybe. I think
Let
I'm
me
kind of forgetting as well, but like there was one thing like a stick and then they had some balls on them.
Yeah, that is actually I just pulled it up. Gonna try to see if my camera, yeah. Because I know that you don't have a clear view of my video, so you cannot see what I'm trying to show here. But yeah,
Okay, so
when
I
I went
searched
to
it up as
Japan,
well, and the egg dish that I was talking about is
uh,
basically tamagoyaki, not
tamagoyaki.
takoyaki,
Okay.
tamagoyaki.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Tamagoyaki I really liked, but
Sure.
takoyaki, honestly, not my thing. I genuinely did not like that in Japan. But other than that, I think Japanese food was good. I personally really liked
Okay.
it, but I know that a lot of other people, other
Yeah.
students, don't really enjoy it as much. Now, leaving this conversation, I want you to give the students who are watching this, just if you could give like one
Hmm.
piece of advice to your fellow high schoolers. I'm imagining you're in high school right now. So to your fellow high
Yes,
schoolers
I
or
am.
maybe even students in middle school who are like in seventh, eighth grade, what would that one piece of advice be?
The one piece of advice that I like to give the viewers watching, especially middle schoolers and high schoolers, is that at this age, I suggest that you take part in a lot of activities, a lot of extracurriculars, just to find out what your niche is. Once you find out what your niche is, because I did the same. I participated in volunteering work. I participated in MUNs. I participated in like a lot of sustainable development goals related work, and I found out that I am more inclined towards um, global perspectives and climate related projects and sort of work. So I suggest that at this age it's really important that you find out what your niche is, and once you know that, then you can progress towards like building soft skills and applying in internships and specific activities, and like specifically uh, giving and prioritizing your time and your activities in that specific niche towards contributing to that specific niche. So that's I think the one piece of advice that I like to give, and I think it's really important that you do this at this age.
Very well said. And even I like to say to my students that it's always better to be a generalist first and then be a specialist.
Exactly, yes.
So
Yes.
you should try everything first, discover your interests, and then specialize in one field later on when you have decided what you want to do. Perfect. Very well said, Reenad. Now, one final question is that moving forward, obviously you're still in 10th grade, is that correct?
Uh, Yeah, I am.
So, what are your plans moving forward?
If I talk about my near future, I am thinking of pursuing A levels. I was doing my matric right now, but moving on, I think I will pursue my A levels because it offers a variety of subjects, especially global perspectives. I want to study more in depth that specific subject, um, and yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Yeah, so you're planning to do your A levels. Are you planning to apply to more scholarships in the future as well?
Yes, I am always open to such opportunities and moving out of my comfort zone. Such opportunities, I believe they really change your mindset, the way you think, and the way you perceive the ideas. And participating in such global programs, it really helps a lot in your future as well. And you really learn a lot from it.
Perfect. Perfect. Very well said, Rina. And I could not agree more. It's such programs like this, you may not immediately see the change, but you really re start to
Yes.
realize once you live through it that, okay, how did
Mhm.
this program change my life? I personally see my videos and
Exactly.
pictures from before I went to Japan and now, and there's like a huge difference. So, and you only start to
Yes.
realize that after you've been through that program. But yeah, thank you so much, Rina,
Yes.
for being a part of this interview. And I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you agreed to show up.
Thank you.
You are also featured in the guide that I recently posted. So if any of you all have not seen it, you can just comment guide underneath any of my videos and you should be able to read a little bit more about her story. It's actually a summarized version of what she just said today. But if any of y'all would like to read that video, that guide is also available to everyone for free. And all you need to do is just comment guide, the word guide, underneath any of my Instagram posts.